Hello, my name is Sellars of Mackenzie Spencer. Today I'm going to talk about crowdfunding, which has certainly received a lot of coverage in the press over the last 12 months. It's also created a stir amongst the funding and the startup communities. In this video I'm going to summarise the marketplace and give you some of our insights into the new funding phenomena. We're going to look at it from the perspective of those companies that are looking to raise money. We're not going to discuss crowdfunding from the perspective of investors, as we're not authorised to give advice. I think it's important to understand that there are a number of different types of crowdfunding, including 1. Philanthropic, often to support music, art and film projects. 2. Product sales, this is often the pre-sale of new technology products. 3. Debt funding, to support those businesses with a trading history. 4. Specialist sites to provide invoice discounting where the traditional market doesn't work. And 5. Equity funding for new or relatively new startup businesses. The really important thing is to know which type of funding you are looking for and to approach the most appropriate crowdfunding site. This is a very busy space with a lot of sites and the number keeps growing all the time. You need to make sure that you're pitching to the right audience, and you also want to make sure that the site that you're using has a very large audience for you to pitch to. I'm going to focus on 2 of the types of funding, debt funding and equity funding, as these are the ones most relevant to the SME community. Along with my colleagues, we've processed in excess of 30 debt crowdfunding applications on 3 different sites. 90% of these applications have been successful and have been fully funded. The debt is very similar to that of debt from a high street bank, in that personal guarantees will often be required and interest rates will be in the range of 8 to 12%. So why use crowdfunding? Some of the reasons our clients have given. 1. The process is much simpler than a number of meetings with a high street bank manager. 2. The process feels more predictable, as most projects that are listed on crowdfunding sites get funded. 3. They've been able to raise the money cheaper than from the high street bank. And 4. The profile has been very useful in projecting the business and finding new customers. The debt funding side of crowdfunding is growing significantly and is being positively supported by the government, having provided tens of millions to support the crowdfunding sites. Equity funding is in no way as straightforward as the debt funding model. A large number of projects that are posted on equity crowdfunding sites are for new start businesses. This has resulted in a relatively low success rate, with over 80% of projects not being fully funded. We've worked on or are working on 9 equity funding projects. Some have been successful, some have not. As you can appreciate, getting investors to invest in a new start business can be more of a challenge. However, businesses are being funded, and this is aided in no small way by the significant tax breaks afforded to investors, with up to 50% of the investment being recoverable against investors' tax liabilities. The process to get a successful equity launch takes significant effort and will need to be supported by the following information: a business plan, financial forecasts, and a video that explains both the business and its place in its market. Following the launch, there'll be a lot of questions from potential investors, with particular focus on how the valuation's been arrived at. The entrepreneur or the business team needs to set time aside to be able to deal with these questions and to manage the process appropriately. The equity sites are very busy and you need to find a way to stand out. A great video will certainly help. But in addition, you need to work your own network and do your own marketing to drive prospective investors to review the investment opportunity. The more your own network get interested in the project and invest in it, the more likely the project will be successful. Equity crowdfunding may be an alternative to smaller VCs and angel investors, and should be considered alongside these alternative funding arrangements. Some of the crowdfunding sites are working hard to combine both crowdfunding, angel investors and smaller VCs to meet the needs of the SME marketplace. It may feel that crowdfunding creates another layer of funding for SMEs to understand and navigate. However, from an advisor perspective, it's an additional source of funding which broadens the options for SMEs, and on this basis is very welcome. We were very early adopters of the crowdfunding market and now have a broad experience of both debt and equity crowdfunding sites. If you think that crowdfunding might be one of the options to meet your funding requirement, please contact us via mackenziespencer.co.uk.